Derby Wars, racing's biggest contest site, is now even bigger with more than 200 games every day. Check out Survivor, Derby Wars' hottest new game. It's fun, easy to play, and for just $4 you could win $1,000. Just pick a horse to finish first, second, or third and advance to the next race. With daily payouts and games starting every hour, you'll see why fans are racing to play Survivor.
Welcome to another edition of HorseCenter, everyone. I am Brian Zipsey, and as always, I have the great pleasure of being joined by my co-host to the East Coast. That's Matt Schiffman. How are you today, Matt?
I'm great, Brian. It's the Happy Holidays edition of HorseCenter.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to all of our watchers out there. We appreciate your loyal devotion to HorseCenter, what Matt and I like to call the best show in horse racing. Matt, are you ready to talk about opening day at Santa Anita?
Hey, Brian, $1 million guaranteed pick 4. Let's do some handicapping today.
Matt, I love when racetracks align the stakes races, align the big races of the day so they're in one little nice pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 package. A lot of tracks, unfortunately, don't do it, but Santa Anita for opening day has done it with 4 nice stakes races in a row to close the card. It's got grade 1s. It's got sprinters going 7 furlongs, which I love. It's got turf. It's got the downhill course. It's got a little bit of everything, Matt. So let's jump right in. Now, 2016 was another great year of racing, Matt. We're still in 2016, but a lot of people call this the start to 2017. It's the day after Christmas at Santa Anita. Let's start with the Malibu Stakes, Matt. Who's your top pick in the Malibu?
You know, Brian, it's a great field. I mean, this pick 4, big fields, contentious fields. And in the Malibu, it's a race that's got a lot of speed, and I love the 7 furlong distance. My top pick is going to be, I'm going Baffert in here. I'm going with 10 Blessings. I think this is a horse that Baffert has got ready to show his best in the Malibu.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, Matt, to see he was only 3-1 on the morning line. The word must be out a little bit about 10 Blessings because he has not faced this kind of competition before. I do like him a little bit as well, although I have him down as my 3rd pick. I think we need to talk about the horse coming out of the Breeders' Cup Sprint a little bit. I expect him to be the favorite. Mind Your Biscuits, who, of course, got second-place money recently with the post-race disqualification of Masochistic, but Mind Your Biscuits was closing like a rocket late in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Yeah, Brian, and he did disqualify into second place money, but he was closing and very narrowly missed getting second place on his own. I agree with all those things you said. One of the partners in that horse is a friend of mine from New York, Chad Summers. And he says that this horse is doing fantastic. They did take him home after the Breeders' Cup to train in New York because he ships really well. And Chad thinks he's sitting on a big race. There's a lot of speed in here. I like Mind Your Biscuits also, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that 10 Biscuits is going to have a coming out party in the Malibu.
10 Blessings, Matt, not Biscuits. We're minding your biscuits today, but we're going 10 Blessings. That's a good pick, Matt. I, on the other hand, am also going to put the favorite and the horse to beat, Mind Your Biscuits, down in second place because I like Sharp Azteca best. And this goes a little against my traditional handicapping of picking horses who like to come from back in 7 furlong races, especially, as you said, in a race with a bunch of speed. Now, this race could have had more speed had Dre Fong, the Breeders' Cup champion and likely sprint champion this year, had to defect from the race this week due to illness. I think it's a better race without Trifang, though, and I'm going Sharp Azteca. The reason I'm going Sharp Azteca, Matt, is I think he's a horse that doesn't need the lead to win. I think you were sitting next to me on Kentucky Derby Day, and we saw Sharp Azteca chase blistering fast fractions. If you remember how fast they ran in that one-turn mile at Churchill Downs, and Sharp Azteca chased it and took over the lead, opened up, and held on nicely that day. I think Sharp Azteca is a major talent. I really like his last race. It was at Laurel Park. And those horses are better than I think people give them credit for, who he was beating. Hot Seat, He was beating R-rated superstar that day, and he did it so easily. I think he's ready for this, and I think he likes 7 furlongs. So I'm going to go with Sharp Azteca, despite all the speed in here.
Yeah, Sharp Azteca, I'm going to use him in the pick 4, although I don't love him. Again, I think he's a really talented horse. I don't love him shipping to the West Coast. I don't like him doing that for the first time. I don't think Navarro has a lot of luck with that kind of situation. So, like I said, I'm going to use him in the pick 4, though, but I'm not putting him on top for my picks.
That's good, Matt. Difference in opinion is what makes the world go around here. I like your picks, though. I do like 10 Blessings a little bit, and Mind Your Biscuits. So those are actually 3 that I'm looking at in here. We should mention More Spirit, who was a very nice 2-year-old late last year and 3-year-old early this year. We haven't seen him since a middle-of-the-pack finish in the Kentucky Derby. Awesome Banner is in there, Semper Fortis. It's a really nice race. Are you afraid of More Spirit, who is one of 3 from the Baffert barn, along with 10 Blessings, your top pick?
I'm very, very interested to see what More Spirit does today. I didn't love, if fans remember back on the Derby Trail with our shows, I did not like More Spirit a lot on the Derby Trail, but the time off has given this horse a chance to mature, and I'm really, really interested to see what More Spirit's going to be like in his debut. It's a tough race to come back from on a 6-7 month layoff, but I think we're going to see some good things from More Spirit.
Yeah, he's been away. Close to 8 months now. Not running since his 10th in the Kentucky Derby. I think 7 furlongs offers him a possible advantage in that the sprinters might be tiring a little bit. Fast pace, 7 furlongs, he might be picking them up. But on the other hand, 7 furlongs is one of the toughest distances to run. So for that reason, I'm not going to pick him in his return, but I think he is a danger in here. Awesome Banner, I think, is just not quite as good as Sharp Azteca, but a really nice horse we should mention. I don't throw out Semper Fortis, Jazzy Blues, very nice race, and like I said, probably a better race without Trifang in here. Matt, the other Grade 1 7 furlong race of the opening day at Santa Anita is the La Brea, and another nice field has developed. And, like we said for Mind Your Biscuits, where the race might be setting up for him a little bit, rallying at 7 furlongs, I think you have to look at Lightstream first in here because, again, there's a bunch of speed. 7 furlongs is a distance she's proven to really like.
Yeah, Brian, I love Lightstream in here. For me, in this pick 4 sequence, Lightstream is the most likely winner. Lightstream for me is, if people are looking for a single in the pick 4, that's the horse for me. It's a race with tons of speed, everything setting up for Lightstream. Horse has done extremely well in the 7 furlong distance with 3 wins out of 4 starts. I'm going to single Lightstream in the pick 4.
Yeah, Lightstream makes a lot of sense, Matt, for all the reasons we're talking about. She loves 7. She's going to get the speed to run at. She's never been to California. You mentioned that as a negative for Sharp Azteca. Also, I wonder if maybe that Raven run was a little bit weaker than this race for sure, and maybe even the test. It's surprising to say. I don't think that was a particularly great test either, but it really set up for well that day with how crazy fast the horses ran and knocked themselves out of the test. So I wonder if this might be her toughest test yet. Finley's Lucky Charm, who knows how good she is. She's coming off some huge races at Churchill Downs right here in Louisville for trainer Brett Calhoun. The Dream Supreme, it was quite shocking to see how easily she drew off from that field. What do you think of Finley's Lucky Charm? She's more of the speed, but she might just be better.
Yeah, I agree with that, Brian. The horse has done very, very little wrong in career. 5 out of 6 starts for the filly. Again, same thing we've said. Now we're saying it for the 3rd time here. First time going out to the West Coast, shipping out there. Again, horse is extremely talented, but a lot of speed out there in this race. It's California. I don't think she's going to get an easy lead like the race you referred to at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, although I don't know that she needs an early lead. I think that's still to be determined, because she just looks like a major talent who might be able to sit second or third. Another who I think might not need to be on the lead and could really help from the outside is James Cassidy's filly, Perfect Pick. If you look at her 3 races, Matt, she really won a maiden impressively, and then she's run against very tough horses in her last 2. Perfect Pick dropping back down into 3-year-olds now. Really game finishes in 2 straight fast sprint races. She was basically thrown to the wolves in her second start of her life, and she responded very well. She hasn't won either last 2, but she was right there in both. I think Perfect Pick, especially if she can sit 3rd or 4th on the outside early, is one to watch, and I want to include her in the pick 4. We haven't even mentioned horses like Constellation and Enola Gray, very talented fillies. Both of them, they might be fillies that want to be on the lead as well. Sets things up even more for your top pick, Lightstream, but fillies we need to mention.
Yep, I agree, Brian. Quality horses.
Quality horses, quality race. Matt loves Lightstream. I'm going to be using Lightstream, Finley's Lucky Charm, and Perfect Pick in this one. Enola Gray's got fans out there, Matt. I don't think this is a good spot for her.
Yeah, I can't blame people for wanting to use Enola Gray. Love Santa Anita, done well, going 7 furlongs already. Lots to say that's good about her.
I think this spot might be too tough for Enola Gray. Hey, Matt, let's jump to the turf now. We're going to start with the 1 mile race, the Mathis Brothers Grade 2 race. And this is my best bet of the day. And it's not the horse. I think Frank Conversation off his last 2 is going to be favored. We saw him win the Twilight Derby. Actually, he was a long shot that day. But he backed that up with a very nice performance since then. He didn't win, but 2 straight nice performances for Frank Conversation. Maybe the horse to beat in here. But I think Conquest Enforcer, this is a horse I've been following since he was early on in his 2-year-old year, and I've been dying for him to get back to 2 turns, a little bit farther than he had kind of fallen into a sprint frame of mind in Canada and New York. He was running against really, really tough sprinters. I think Conquest Enforcer for the new connections. Matt, he was purchased for $785,000 recently at the Keeneland November breeding stock sale. I think Conquest Enforcer is going to be a big name next year, and I think it starts on Monday.
Yeah, Brian, this is another fabulous field, a wide open field. Folks, if you want to read a little bit more about Brian's feelings about Conquest Enforcer, of course, he did an article on Horse Racing Nation where he really goes into all the things that he likes about that horse. It's wide open, and in the pick 4, I'm going to use a bunch of horses in here. I like Frank Conversation for all the reasons that Brian said. I also like Tusk a little bit. Also, Graham Motion, and he has just been on fire out there at Santa Anita. So that's a horse I think that people should take a look at also.
Yeah, Tusk is interesting. He should be a long shot. He deserves to be a long shot. He'll probably get that a little bit with the Graham Motion connection. He hasn't run in a long time, Matt, and I worry about how fast they're going to run here in this flat mile at Santa Anita. I think for me, he's more of a horse that gets into the exotics at odds. I think the horse on the rail who's been rallying is interesting. Isotherm is another horse I think you can't throw out. Isotherm has not had good trips of late. Maybe, unfortunately, he's just a horse that finds trouble. But if Isotherm does get a good trip, I think he becomes a danger in here. But I think, believe it or not, it's strange. A sprinter coming from Canada, I think Conquest Enforcer really has a class edge. Those older sprinters that he's been facing in Canada are just really, really good, really tough horses. So I think Conquest Enforcer actually is going to get a little bit of a class drop in here and be on or near the lead, and I think he's going to control this race. It's a good field. It's a deep field, but I don't think it's a great field as far as the quality. So for me, it's all Conquest Enforcer. All right, Matt, finally, we're going to talk about the San Simeon, which is, of course, the turf sprint of the day. It actually starts the pick 4. It's race 6 at Santa Anita, opening day on Monday, the day after Christmas. And it looks like the horse to beat in there, Matt, is Holy Loot. You remember 2 starts back, Holy Loot, the gray, really ran a good race in the Eddie D. And frankly, what he did in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, even though he wasn't that close to winning, nothing wrong with that race. That was the Turf Sprint, of course.
Yeah, Brian, you probably remember from Breeders' Cup weekend. I liked the horses from the Eddie Reed going into the Breeders' Cup Sprint, going down the hill, and Holy Loot was one of them. He was a little far outside. Obviously, and in the Breeders' Cup Sprint just took off and dominated the race, and it made it hard for horses to close and look like they ran a good race. So the running lines in the PPs make Holy Loot's performance not look so good. But like I said, there was no way they were going to catch, obviously, an in there today. And there aren't any horses like those two in this race. Again, I'm a little concerned about the 12 hole in a 14 horse field coming down the hill. It's going to be a cavalry charge, Brian, but there's a lot of speed in there, and it should set up for Holy Loot again. I like Holy Loot, but then again, if Holy Loot isn't going to be the winner, then I think the race is wide open.
It really is, Matt. I'm looking at this race, and for some reason, I was looking for horses to rally up to win it. I just feel like this is going to be a cavalry charge to the wire where a bunch of horses have a chance, and I want the horses that are closing best in the end. Holy Loot kind of is my Mind Your Biscuits, although Mind Your Biscuits may have less competition in his Malibu. But Holy Loot's the horse to beat. He's a must include on the pick 4 for me, but he's not my top pick. Big respect for him. My top pick actually in here, Matt, is Ohio. And Ohio was a very good sprinter in South America. He's been running 2 turns in America, and he's been having some trouble. He's been running decent races. Again, if you look at his running lines, he's found some trouble. I think dropping down to a distance that we know he's already comfortable in, Ohio really is going to be finishing strongly. For that reason, Ohio is my top pick. But I agree with you. It's a race that it's a race where I could see 9 or 10 horses, any of them winning, not surprising me. Another one I think we need to mention, Matt, is He Will, who's also dropping in distance and has also performed very well of late.
Yep, I completely agree with that. I like He Will as my second choice in here, and then beyond that, I'm going to use a lot of horses in the pick 4, Brian.
Fair enough, Matt. Watch out for Ohio, though. Hey, Matt, let's talk about the pick 4. We've been kind of talking a little bit about it as we've gone along, previewing these 4 excellent races at Santa Anita. But like you mentioned, it's a $1 million guaranteed pick 4, and it has nothing but really good horses running in it. So let's make some tickets. What do you say? I'm going to let you go first. I want you to tell me what your ticket for this awesome pick 4 Monday at Santa Anita is. My
pleasure, Brian. Like just following up on the San Simeon that we were just talking about, even though I like Holy Loot, I think this is the most wide open race in the sequence, and I'm going to spread. I'm going to use 11 horses in here, Brian. I'm going to eliminate 3 of them. I'm going to hope for a bomb in here. Even though I like Holy Loot, I'm going to hope for a big price in here and not the favorite. Since I'm spreading so much, and like I said earlier, my top pick in the sequence is Lightstream, and I'm going to single Lightstream in the second leg. Then I'm going to go 4 deep in the last 2 legs in there, and 4 deep. I'm going to use, I think, probably the horses that between you and I that we talked about the most. So it's going to be a ticket that's 11 by 2 by 4 by 4. And for 50 cents, that's an $88 ticket. It's not a small ticket. It's not a huge one. But you know what? If the right horses come in, I think it might pay nicely. Matt, just to be clear, that's 11 by 1 by 4 by 4, right? Yes, okay, 11 so by 1 by 4 by 4. I said 2 because Lightstream is the 2 horse. Yeah, exactly. Bet single the 2, Matt's saying, in leg 2. Single the 2 in leg 2, which is the La Brea and Lightstream. 11 by 1 by 4 by 4. That's an $88 ticket. Matt's putting his eggs into Lightstream's basket, and I think she's got a great shot to win, and thereby that ticket really has a good chance to win. I'm going to keep things a little bit more simple with my ticket, although I do like Conquest Enforcer quite a bit in the Mathis Brothers,
And Lightstream makes a heck of a lot of sense in the La Brea, but I think there are some fillies there that could just be a little better than her and beat her. So I'm gonna spread out just a little in all 4 races. I like my horses in the wide open San Simeon a little bit better, I think, than you do. So I'm gonna go 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. Keep it real simple. We're gonna start off in the San Simeon with the 3 I mentioned, which are Holy Loot, the horse to beat, Ohio, my top pick, and then He Will, who makes a lot of sense charging down the stretch as well in that one. Then we'll go to the La Brea. As Matt's mentioned ad nauseum a little bit, Lightstream is, of course, the horse to beat in there, so I will include her. Finley's Lucky Charm has just been sensational in Kentucky. I think she's got a real shot to win. And like I mentioned, the James Cassidy filly on the outside, if Perfect Pick gets the good trip, I think she's the real deal, making only her 4th lifetime start. So I'm going to use those 3 in the La Brea. The Malibu, I am going to hesitantly and a little bit nervously disclude More Spirit. I think first time back since the Derby's going to have a tough time winning this. Scared of him, but I'm sticking with my 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, which includes Mind Your Biscuits, Sharp Azteca, who is my top pick, and Matt's 10 Blessings. I think he's a horse on the move, looking like he can handle something like this. And then finally, the Mathis Brothers Mile. You know I like Conquest and Forcer best. I have to use Frank Conversation off his recent form. And my 3rd horse is the horse I talked about not having much luck of late, but I still think Isotherm has some class. So that 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 ticket, 50-cent pick 4 costs you $40.50. Good luck to all of you out there playing the pick 4, the late pick 4 Monday at Santa Anita. Matt, maybe we can get a winner on both of our tickets.
Yeah, Brian, that's just what I was going to say to our fans. Hey, you might want to play both of our tickets because there's an overlap and you could cash twice.
Only if Lightstream wins, but we both think she's got a good shot, especially Mr. Schiffman there. All right, folks, thanks for joining us for our preview show, Pick 4 show, Malibu, La Brea, Mathis Brothers Mile, and San Simeon. Enjoy opening day at Santa Anita. I want to thank our sponsor, Derby Wars, the best contest site out there. And as always, thank you for watching, folks.
And I want to say Happy New Year and good luck to all of the HorseCenter fans, and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays to our producer, Brett Workman.
Brett did it again, Matt. Happy holidays, everyone. See you next week.